on down the road. We're at 101, down coming up on Atascadero. We're about 30 miles from our Elks Club destination in San Luis Obispo. And Shelly is just sewing away over here. I'm just driving away over here. This is beautiful 101 heading south. We'll be there in about 30 minutes. This is our campsite here at the Elks Club in Slow. Yeah, I think there's opening here for 16. Once again, we're the smallest ones here. So, this is typical South City overcast type weather. This is the pool here, pool area here at the Elks Club. It's really a nice place. Over there on the far end, they got a hot tub, then they got a little kids tub, and then they got a little kids pool, and then the main pool. And then back in the back there, those are the showers. And then during the day, they sell hot dogs and stuff here at really reasonable prices too. This is the inside of the Elks Club at Slow. Really nice. It has a huge bar. Hey, guy says he shows up here at 5:30 in the morning. It's a very large Elks Club. It's got rooms going every which way. All the way back there. It was built in the 1960, the fella told me. Their t-shirts. Then there's more rooms going out this way. Here's their presidents of the Elks Club going back to 1895. Wow. Notice it's in 79 they started doing them in color. And they also wear bow ties. This I thought was interesting. Every one of them since 1949 wore a bow tie, which, no big deal. Until you get to the first woman president, I know, what's that bow tie? That looks kind of out of place. And then here's the other two women exalted rulers, and they have bow ties, and then it dawned on me, they're doing that to be consistent. Going back down the hallway here. We've got more rooms out this way. It's dark in there, you can't see, but that's more rooms. This place has more rooms. I imagine they rent all these out for weddings and such. So that's the inside of the Elks Club. I'm standing outside the mission here in San Luis Obispo. See the background behind me? 1772. And here's the rest of Slow. It's a very nice town. I think it may be the nicest town in California. It's small, it has no suburbs, it's isolated, it's got a beach not far away. The streets are extremely clean. There's all kinds of wonderful little stores. And the architecture is not modern, it's actually Spanish. So yeah, I'm really glad I came. It's amazing, my daughter went to school here, but I really never visited the town too much. Anyway, I'm going to go check out the church here. Here's the sign out front of the mission, and there's the date and the church hours. Today is Friday, and on Friday evenings they have music at the mission, and they have all this free music and food. So Shelly and I are going to come here for dinner. Right now I'm going to try going into the mission and see what it's like in there. It's into the mission gift shop museum. Let's come check it out. Mission Church now, going inside the church itself here. Just going to try to. I assume it's open. The inside of the Mission Church. Because I'm the only one in here. If you're the only one in here and you talk, can anybody else hear you? I guess you don't have to be quiet. Wow. The lady in the gift shop said it's been restored several times because of earthquakes, and man, have they done a wonderful job. This looks like it was just built. Listen to the music in the background. It's Gregorian chant. Beautiful church. You're supposed to take my hat off. There are Stations of the Cross up there. And remember the music from my years in Catholic schools. Oh, they have another one. Isn't this interesting? It has a little wing over here. Wow. Interesting the way they built it with that wing on it. There's somebody that's actually praying. One thing these missions always had was a garden on the sides, I guess where they grew their crops and stuff for their personal use. It's the hacienda structure where it's kind of a horseshoe shaped going around. And there's the horseshoe. Change it from vegetables to just a garden. They have a big barbecue pit over there for parties. They head out front now. I think these are the original bells from the church, and they preserved them out here. Yeah, it says San Luis Obispo in Latin right on it. Oh, I guess the backlighting, you can't see it. There we go. San Luis Obispo. Wow, those are old. 1772. Man, it's pretty impressive. This looks like the best restored mission I've ever seen. Look at the walls, are perfect, yet they kept the original look. The bricks are done perfectly, the roofing, tiles, everything. It's almost like Disneyland did it or something. Yet this is the original church. Oh, there's a truth wall. Walk down there and check it out. It shows that it's the original adobe. Look at that. Drove wood in there to fill a void. There's the original adobe bricks from 1772. Wow. Head back into the church. Look at the quality of this work. And the wood. Even the barrels are new. Going back into the mission now. Take my hat off. Look at the beautiful balcony up there with the big organ. Look at that organ, that's beautiful. One last pan as we head out the door. Ooh, it's bright. Of the outside of the San Luis Obispo mission that's so marvelously restored. They just did a wonderful job. Oh, look at the old original foundations there. And they cover them up with concrete. They have earthquakes here, so they have to worry about that. Here I am out in front of the Railroad Museum here in San Luis Obispo. So I'm going to go inside and see what they got. There's a Southern Pacific Railroad tank car, designed CS25A. I guess there must be a railroad car here that's a tanker, but it must be gone. Going on inside here.
Is it out in Medina?
It's on past that, and you go. I could draw you a quick map.
Sure. Draw me a quick map.
Okay, let me just record what we just did here. 2 adults, cash 10. Keeping track here.
Okay, well.
My volunteer job.
Don't want to be messing around.
Piece of paper.
Here we are. A little movie. And there's the old milk cans. I remember my dad used to keep about a 3-gallon one in the refrigerator. Oh, there's a one-man, what is it, a velocipede. 3-wheel railroad inspection car. That's something. Man, that must have been some work. Of course, they were limited to only 1% grade, maybe 2. Heading upstairs now to see the model trains. Operating model trains upstairs. Here's a list of the trains here that they have. They have the Pacific Coast Railway, 3-foot narrow gauge, Southern Pacific Railroad, 1894, Santa Maria Valley Railroad, standard gauge, 1911, Amtrak standard gauge, 1971, and Union Pacific Railroad, standard gauge, 1996. So the Pacific Railway was narrow gauge. Hi.
This is the model of the Pacific Coast Railway that existed at Pismo Beach.
Pacific Coast. Is this the one that was the narrow gauge?
Yes, it is.
Is that narrow gauge or is that HO?
It's narrow gauge. It's HO narrow gauge.
They make such a thing, huh?
Yeah.
I guess they got to keep the scale accurate.
But it's modeled as a narrow gauge.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Equals 3 feet between the rails.
Instead of what, 4 feet 8.5? Is that standard?
That's right.
And a half, of course. Where'd they get the half?
I don't know. It's international too.
That's pretty weird. It's amazingly narrow. Those big old things are on such a narrow footing. I mean, my car I think is wider than 4 feet 8.5, isn't it? Well, thank you. My cousin is real big on model railroad up in Napa Valley. Yeah. They have a building at the fairgrounds. It's really very large. Oh. Santa Margarita, 1953.
Huh? It's coming.
Oh.
Santa Margarita. Well, I mean, we've been able to get trains up here, but there's no structures in the tracks.
Oh. Let's see. Which one is this one?
I'm sorry?
Oh, this is more modern here. This is Southern Pacific, huh? This train.
Oh yeah,
here?
it's not the narrow gauge. All of this was Southern Pacific early 1950s.
Ah.
So
I grew up by the railroad tracks, and I remember them coming by. They weren't electric. They were still steam.
Yeah, we got a couple of steam engines there. It just happens to not be right. Sitting over there.
Yeah.
There's one sitting up here at Santa Margarita too.
I was lucky to actually see a lot of them, you know, as a kid. They went by 4 or 5 times a day.
Where was that?
Vallejo? Yeah. I remember
I remember a few as a kid too.
I remember the sound of them going by, going whoo, 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 because they went through town and they had to do it at every crossing, especially at night.
You would never get a single whistle blow
and the last whoop had to be while they were crossing the intersection. It was supposed to be. Yeah. Sometimes they cut it pretty short. I traveled with an RV, and if people complain there's a train nearby and the whistles blow all night, to me it's comforting. Wow, it's a lot of effort put in to maintain these model trains. Price Canyon. A lot of work on these things. Look at this, it's double stacked everywhere. Somewhere they probably go from upstairs to the top track down to the bottom track. Oh yeah, look at there's a loop, like the Williams loop. There's a loop right there. Trains go round and round to go from one elevation to the other. These are Amtrak model trains. San Luis Obispo, 1952. That's pretty much everything here at the museum. And here they have a train car that you can walk into. Yeah, open. Enter here. I'll have to go check it out. Well, it says it's the lounge cafe car. I wonder if they actually serve food in here. I don't think so. I think it's just a museum thing. So what's for lunch?
Well, I tell you, I hope you're not very hungry.
Yeah, okay.
But you are in a
The cafe car, huh?
cafe lounge observation car.
What year was this?
This was built in 1926
Wow.
by the Pullman Company for the Santa Fe Railroad.
Thank you.
So you go on down here if you want. Tell you a little bit about this car.
Okay.
This was a lounge area right here.
Okay.
Somewhat like it is now. It was a place for the passengers to come back and relax after they had a meal during the next day, in the next part of the car.
Uh-huh.
Why don't you leave it out? You can go forward and you can look at that. Originally, this little area here was a writing desk, but after the railroad surplus in the 50s, private owner bought it and thought a bar was even better. So
Yeah,
put it in
I
there.
agree. Are these a little storage?
Well, that's a strange little thing right there. But
Yeah.
next to it is a very important room.
Yes.
Just push that in and turn it.
Look, you guys, it's like being on an
At the
airplane.
bathroom? Oh yeah, it is.
Oh my goodness, look at all that
Wow.
pretty, like, ornate stuff
Yeah, isn't
though.
that something?
Really?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make a nice RV.
Yes, isn't it? That's neat. It is a very important room.
That's this. Yeah, that was, and so was this one. This was the dining area here.
You say a private owner bought it? What did he do with it?
Well, there's a private car association, and if you pay the big bucks, they'll put it on the end of an Amtrak
I've heard of
train.
doing that, yeah.
And that they do it less and less now. Amtrak doesn't seem to really want to deal with it.
Ah,
But at one time, this was what this car did.
uh-huh.
Got the nice stained glass windows here
Yeah.
in that room, and up here is a control panel for a generator that's underneath this car.
Ah.
It's diesel, and it could be so the private owner could park it off on a siding and have his own power.
They didn't have that in 26.
They didn't have that in 26. No way. Now,
This thing's pretty long.
up in front there was a small kitchen and pantry, but now it's just storage.
I love all the knobs.
Looks like there's a Murphy bed that comes down in there.
Yeah, they've done some modifications at this end of the
Oh,
car, and the passengers all had to come down that narrow little aisleway there.
This was stolen. This was stolen.
oh yeah.
Was it? Well, I think they...
Wow. This was a dining car, a cafe
This
car?
combination car. Yeah, this was dining car, lounge car, and one time to get a place to get out of your coach seats and
Uh-huh.
have a snack or a lunch.
Was this thing a little longer than most cars?
It is. 80
seems
feet
long.
Yeah, it is long.
What was the standard length?
I don't know, but it sure wasn't 80 feet.
Storage.
Storage,
I love all these little compartments.
Well, just the way they are now.
The same color?
Yeah. When they'd be.
Very cool.
Well, thank you for all the information.
Last year, a big oil train.
Is that the other one to go in?
No, it's behind us. But a big oil train was coming back.
This is
So this,
back in the like 50s, late 40s.
uh-huh.
Presidential
Yes, that's what it looks
candidates
like.
went around on a train, and they had a platform like this. In fact, we had a gentleman said he was 6 or 7 years old. It must have been in a 1948, and whistle stop tour. Harry Truman was up here, and he was down there, and Harry shook his hand.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I'll be
Isn't
darned.
that cool?
That's a great...
I remember the newspaper headline, Dewey wins, except Dewey didn't
right.
win. So this was meant to be at the end of the train,
Yeah.
not the caboose.
so much.
If they had one of
Thank
these,
you.
where did they put the caboose if they had one of these?
Good question. Yeah.
I remember cabooses when I was a kid.
Yeah, there's one right down there.
Oh, is there?
Get a
All right,
chance
check
to
it out.
see
Yeah.
that.
Well, thank you very much.
You're so welcome. Thanks for visiting.
Okay. Is a caboose. So we're going to go check out what's going on inside the caboose here. This is the outside of that car. It's 80 feet. It's longer than a normal one. It seems longer inside. Yeah, it seems to have 3 bogies. Or I guess that's a bogie with 3 axles. Most of them have 2. It's like this one here has only 2 axles. Safety first. And the ones that came by my house didn't have this little thing sticking out the side. Instead, it had a thing up on the roof. I guess that's how they would see out. And a caboose from the front. That there is the old manual brakes. I guess that's if the air brakes failed. Oh, one of the knuckle couplers is missing. This thing just got painted. You can tell everything is just fresh paint. Southern Pacific Railroad caboose number 1886. Built in 72. It was last operated in 95. Wow, 72, that's pretty late. I sure remember these things. They were fun to throw rocks at when I was a kid. They'd sometimes stop the train and chase you. Yeah. Huh. Now there's a knuckle coupling that's still there. That was a big invention.
Arbor area. They just did a pitch out. And then one guy came in. My mom got a video.
This is where the engineer was.
Did a pitch out and pulled the horn with it too. So yeah, that was fun. All right.
So you found your dad, right?
Yeah, he's I'm not sure where he is. He's calling Miss Diane. So yeah. All right.
Take care.
Thanks for letting me use your phone.
Yeah, you bet.
Okay.
When he loses, hi. I remember these going by my house all the time when I was a kid.
Uh-huh.
I lived by the railroad tracks.
Where?
Vallejo?
In where?
In Vallejo, California.
Vallejo.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Now this is what, gas operated?
Diesel number 2.
Diesel number 2.
And the tank is right back there in that closet.
Yeah. This is where the conductor hung out, wasn't it?
Right. In this spot right here, this desk right here.
Yeah. A lot of people think that the guy driving the train was in charge, the engineer, but it's really was the conductor.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the conductor in the old Western movies where they're punching tickets, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's funny that that was his job, punching
In fact,
tickets.
we even have a picture right here. This is the last crew members that operated this caboose in, yeah, you got a hot spot there. You can turn it on.
Where's it coming from? I don't think it's the light. No, it's something else.
Huh.
Where is it coming from? You know, it's funny how the camera sees things that you don't.
Well,
oh, there you go. That's a glare from that window.
yeah.
Okay.
So that's the actual last crew consist on this car on the very last day it was used on the Southern Pacific in 1995.
I was amazed that this was made in 1972. I mean, that's when they ended passenger service about, wasn't it?
Yeah, when it went to
So this is like one of the last ones they ever made, huh?
Yes.
The ones I remember.
More series beyond this. There was the Dash 5 and Dash 6.
Huh. I remember them. They didn't have these side windows. They were. Those are like slide outs.
Cupola.
Yes, they had a thing up on top.
Yeah.
When did they stop making that kind?
Well, they started phasing them out after the war. And you know, they found that the crews were safer in a caboose like this. They had fewer injuries, and they could see better, providing they had enough room on their right-of-way to handle a little bit of a projection like this.
Yeah, I saw it was weird that when the guy that was driving this, at least the steam engines, except for the cab forwards, you'd look all the way down and they're looking out the side.
Yes.
And it seemed like the cab forward, I don't know why they didn't make them all cab forwards.
I know.
It seemed like such a
I totally agree
smart,
with that.
simple.
Yeah.
No smoke in their face.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yet they only made one. There was only, SP was the only one to have cab forwards, weren't they?
Yeah. Now there was a whole series of them, but it's true the Southern Pacific was the main practitioner of that. Now when the diesels came out, then they all kind of went cab forward.
Yeah. Duh.
Yeah.
Okay, well thank you very much.
Hey, you bet. Take care. Thanks for
Now, why did they put this on? Is this an emergency? Is this if the air brakes failed?
It wouldn't really do much unless it was just a very short drain or they got separated from the main drain.
Or in the yard, huh?
It mainly used for
This is like a parking brake. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Because if you lose the air, that puts the brakes on, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah, it's kind of backwards logic.
Yes. But you see, the idea behind that is, so let's say, for example, a coupler knuckle broke here, and the train's separated, then you blow your pressure and put the brakes on.
Right.
That was the brilliance of the George Westinghouse airplane design.
George Westinghouse is also the guy that got with Nikola Tesla and came up with AC.
Correct.
Man, that guy must have been pretty wealthy.
No, actually, he died a pauper in a hotel room.
Westinghouse?
No.
Tesla. Yeah, he was a little nuts.
Yeah.
He was crazy about pigeons and stuff. And here's another old boxcar. This one's in great shape. I wonder what year this one is. What year? This is a 30-foot boxcar, one of 10 boxcars built in 1906 for the Pacific Coast Railway shop in Seattle. It's one of 4 that survived. Man, they sure took good care of it, or at least did a good job restoring it. Much it for the San Luis Obispo Railroad Museum. Off to my next adventure here. We're coming into old main drag of Oceano. Not Oceana, but Oceano. This is Highway 1, if you can believe it. Man, talk about stop and go. Jeez. Don't block the box. Well, we got a green light. I don't know if that buys us anything. There's going out to the pier.
See the ocean?
The ocean. It's all fogged in here. Well, foggy, you know, it's just overcast.
It's just overcast.
It's just typical
coastal weather.
South City weather.
Yep.
Driving through here looking at these stores, it reminds me very much of Mexico. I don't know why, it just does. The way that all the businesses are right on the sidewalk, I guess. Oh, there's a market. We can pick up some steaks there on the way back. You know, we're coming out of it now, but it even smells like Mexico. It has that smell of burnt fish or something. Downtown Pismo Beach, and we just stopped at the public parking if we can find some clam chowder. We're heading down to our cafe. Boy, does this look like a tourist town or something. Well, this is where we were headed, to the Splash Cafe, but my goodness, it's a big line just to get into this joint. The Cool Cat Cafe, and they said that this place across the street, the Splash Cafe, is like a landmark for clam chowder, and everybody comes from far around and gets in line to go in there to get it.
Over to the Cool Cat Cafe.
We're gonna go try the Cool Cat. Nobody's there. That's probably where we want to be. Man, how bad?
That place is too noisy. I can hear them already.
It's a nightclub in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Please wait to be seated. That's where they have clam chowder.
They do.
And how long's the wait? Oh, we found the place, the Cool Cat Cafe. They have clam chowder and you can eat at the bar. So we don't have to wait. Noisy place, huh? Cool Cat Cafe. Pismo Beach. Shelley and I are continuing our journey down to the ocean here. So there's the pier we're going to head on out to, and maybe there's a beach down there, I don't know. We will soon find out. On down the hill to the boardwalk, it says. Boardwalk Pizza, so there must be a boardwalk down here. We will find out. We made it to the boardwalk, so now we need to head on down and check out the ocean. These people on the beach, like they're enjoying the sun. Well, they're not really here to enjoy the sun. They're coming from Bakersfield and Fresno, where it's 115, and they're escaping the heat. And they're probably just happy as a pig in a, what's a pig happy? Pig in a wallow to be here in this nice cool weather. Look at, what is that out there? Is that someone swimming or?
Yeah, on a surfboard.
Oh, that's what that is. It's his head sticking up. Oh, some kind of animal. Okay, so we're going to go down and get our shoes full of sand. So we've made it back to the Pacific Ocean here. Lots of people on the beach. It's very overcast, but it's nice and cool. The surfers out there and the kids playing. We're gonna walk on down that way and see what we can see.
You know what this weather looks like?
What?
Pacifica!
Yeah, Pacifica. More of Pacifica. More of South City. I wonder if it's the same ocean. Yeah, but wow.
About it.
They said it was 115 in Bakersfield, so I imagine these people are happy to be here. Renee says it's over 100 in Walnut Creek, so I guess we're happy to be here too. We'll be heading back to San Luis Obispo here pretty soon. Whoops. That's easy for you to say. There's a girl screaming.
What?
Girls. What's with the screaming? What are they screaming about? Okay. So we're at the end of our trek. We're going to turn around here. And we're going to head up. Hello, Shelly. We're going to head up those stairs right back there. And get out of the sand as best we can. So, a beautiful day at the ocean, huh? So I can get one without any people in it. There's an actual clam called the Pismo clam. I got a picture of it following so you can read the details. Well, we're heading back down, back to the car. We're going to stop here at Old West Cinnamon Rolls and get a cup of Old West Cinnamon Rolls for the road. Don't you think?
Well,
can't wait. Low calorie ones, of course. Open daily, 6 a.m. Wow. 6:30 a.m. Whatever it is, we won't be here then. Second thought, judging from the size of the line, we're going to pass on the old cinnamon roll and we'll get the new Safeway cinnamon roll if we get any. So, our car is right across the street. If you look over there, you can see the turret. Zoom in. Or is it? Turret.
right there. It's a 12 o'clock high.
I'll find it. God, I can't find it in the viewfinder. Oh, there it is. No, that's not it.
You see the black SUV with its trunk
Yeah, I
open?
see that.
We're beyond that.
Okay, yeah, the gray of the turret doesn't show up very well.
So do
Okay.
we